Right now, listen up, you fast food lovers. You might want to hold the onions.
Ooh, boy, also coming up, the feds continue to find new ways to target Elon Musk.
A little bit later on, a former Bachelorette contestant comes clean about his bait and switch.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English. Welcome you to Daily Flash. Rocking and rolling.
And it's Halloween.
You know, it's that special time of year, and I don't know if you noticed the moon. It's very, very bright,
amazing.
at least where we're at.
Yeah.
And it just seems like every time this year, they say the harvest moon is one of the bigger ones, but I think we already have it. So it's just in the air or something.
The Halloween season, it's sort of like for us here in Florida, it's officially the start of fall. Where things really start to feel a little
things
cooler.
going on.
That's why we also, if it's very scary, we also have Matt Doolittle. What were you saying, Matt?
Yes.
We have like 9 Halloween events that go on around this town. We have Halloween Horror Nights, we have SeaWorld, we have Busch Gardens, we have the one down the street. There's a bunch of stuff.
So we get into the moods down
We do. So remember there was that whole myth about razor blades and Halloween candy?
Take it to the hospital.
Yes, and the Tylenol and all that jazz. Well, now they're saying the new threat when it comes to Halloween is actually candy.
The candy itself?
Candy is a choking hazard, and choking among young kids is a serious deal.
All right. I imagine we're talking about like the hard candies, right?
Yes. Every Halloween, they say the number of child deaths will double, and candy is responsible for 19% of choking deaths in children.
This story came out from your parents. They went to
These kids are soft.
We did. Yeah, no kidding.
Soft.
But there wasn't it, going back to like the razor blades, there's really been no incidences of that ever happened. It's like an urban legend as well.
And they've sold all kinds of things, like parents can buy these x-ray machines to look into the candy. I mean, it all seems like it was sort of one of those ploys to sell something.
Sell something and then also discourage kids from wanting to go.
Yes.
My Halloween used to involve my neighbors putting a red wagon together with their own liquor bar, walking around the block, and then it was just let the kids burn the place to the ground.
Okay,
that was my Halloween.
Not a choking hazard.
That's not a choking hazard.
That's a fire hazard.
I think, but it is always something. Halloween is, I think, because it's a holiday from kids, and then you don't have to grow up because as adults we get to dress up as well. That's why everybody loves it. And
Do you have a favorite Halloween candy?
I love the peanut butter Reese's Pieces. Reese's Cups.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm on that one.
Which, by the way, is the #1 candy now. Did you know that? Yeah, it beat out M&M. It's the #1 candy.
I'm an M&M's guy.
Exactly. And now, you know what is dangerous on Halloween, and that is handing out pennies or toothbrushes or any kind of food or pencils, because your house will get egged. I just don't
or
do it.
TP.
Or TP, one or the other. We go now to the fast food restaurants. Some chains had been pulling off onions off of their menu items after that veggie at least, was named as a likely source of an E. coli outbreak. Restaurant Brands International, that's the parent company of Burger King and Yum Brands, said that they were removing fresh onions from their menu items. Roughly about 5% of Burger King locations have removed the onions from their menu. Now, McDonald's has actually removed all of their onions from their menus for now. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the fresh onions were likely that source. Of course, as we know from I believe the Quarter Pounder, because that has the onions on it, is the reason this all went out. So the other restaurants were like reacting to it, to making sure.
It's always the vegetables. Chipotle was the lettuce.
Oh, you're right.
So don't eat your vegetables.
Wait, hold on, kids. Wait, we're promoting going out to trick or treat and don't eat vegetables. Matt, what's wrong with you?
Eat the candy and eat the meat.
We have parents watching this show. Watch your mouth.
Being extremely responsible. Is there a disclaimer that goes on ahead of the show?
We should have. Because, it's a good point, though.
I just walk around with a disclaimer.
My question is, like, why does this keep happening? And what is it that continues to poison our food?
You know, I get worried when I see like lettuce from other countries. I was going to say one particular, but because the standards are not that high.
Yeah.
But also too, if you do a little, I'm not going to do it here, but if you do some investigating of like these restaurants where they get their potatoes and what the farmers do to preserve the potatoes to make sure you probably won't eat the fries ever again because of what they put on it chemically. So that things like this don't happen.
I just wonder when it comes to these crops and what's happening and why this continues to be a headline. It seems like once a month there's some kind of listeria outbreak, and it involves either lettuce or onions or some kind of vegetable. So I don't know. There's got to be a root cause of it. Is it the wind machines that are blowing stuff in the air over these crops? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking.
The pangolins, but we are so loose with our food regulations here that when you're overseas, they are so strict on everything that here is the problem.
Although I would argue, though, over in Europe, like they have whole foods that don't have to be preserved with every single
they're
chemical.
great. They're great foods,
so,
but it's very regulated. Of like, you have to do it in this certain way.
It's a lot. It's more expensive.
I will be honest with you,
James.
I kind of wonder how we survived this far. We drank out of water hoses. I remember the days when we didn't have car seats. We just slid in the back of the back seat. Hey, whatever. I don't know how we survived this far.
Or if you were like me, I convinced my mom to let me stand in the front seat. Or sit on the armrest. That was my thing. Yes.
And we went out trick-or-treating and we liked it.
We sat in the back of pickup trucks. The feds are finding new ways to investigate Elon Musk. Now their focus is on Tesla's full self-driving software after 4 crashes suggested the system was at fault. Biden's National Highway Traffic Safety Department said it was opening the investigation into Elon Musk's company. They say it's the first step toward deciding whether or not they need to issue a mandatory recall. The agency wants to know if the internal self-driving system is affected by reduced visibility conditions on the road. Tesla CEO Elon Musk recently unveiled a new line of robots and robo-taxis as part of his growing auto business.
And if you want to look at it, everybody attacked Ford when he started making the Model T and everything. So, this is whenever there's new technology that's come out, other companies are going to go after. There's a force behind it. Now, granted, we're not where we're supposed to be as far as autonomous. There's a button in my wife's car and it'll help you park. I can't do that. I freak out.
I do too. Yeah, I've never used it.
You know, Geico stopped insuring Cybertrucks.
Altogether?
Because of all the recalls and everything.
Do we know that for sure?
Yes. No, absolutely. Sure. That was a
now there is a difference, though, when you talk about recalls, because sometimes it's a software update and sometimes it's an actual physical part on the car that has to be recalled. So I think when you hear recall, you think, oh, the car's falling apart. Well, not necessarily. It could just be a software update.
And then when I think of total recall, I think of that chick on the mountain that had 3...
Yes. I have another question for you guys. When it comes to these
that didn't get a recall.
When it comes to these self-driving cars, though, to me, oftentimes I think, well, isn't it just cruise control? If you're technically behind the wheel of a car and you hit cruise control, that's self-driving. But you're not going to go sit in the back seat while your car's on cruise control. And I think some people think, oh, it's self-driving. I don't have to pay attention.
And it keeps you in the lanes. Because I'll rent cars like that, and then if you don't have your hands on the steering wheel long enough, it'll I'm going to turn this off because you're not paying attention. So I think that's I don't know if we really need autonomous right now. I think down the road I could see it really being beneficial from causing the reduction of crashes and that sort of thing.
Possibly.
Look, my cell phone restarts every once in a while.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't need my car restarting in the middle of the highway.
Okay, all right.
Hopefully it won't.
Hopefully it won't. Former Bachelorette contestant Josh Sider claims he was pretending to be a transgender woman as part of a social experiment. Sider claims when he first started his so-called social experiment that he was met with intolerance from all sides, including the transgender community. He started his video revelation with a full face of makeup. Then he had one of the crew members working on the show wipe his makeup off before revealing his experiment to the camera. Sider is no stranger to sexual and gender identity issues. He came out as pansexual in 2021, bisexual in 2023. Sider was part of the recent comedy documentary Am I a Racist? From Daily Wire host and filmmaker Matt Walsh, and that was all a part of it.
So people are upset because he was saying that he wasn't a transgendered person when he acts, or he wasn't, but he said he was.
His whole suggestion was when I was, people just automatically accepted me and thought, okay, this is who you are, that's fine. But then when he unmasks himself and says, no, maybe I'm not this person, then he got all kinds of reaction and criticism.
Because he's going against maybe what they had seen, there's a lot of, there's many movements that sort of thing comes out and happens. And, the problem is that we need to look at people just as what they are.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the labels. Why do we have to have? Why do everybody have to have a label? And that's who you are. All right, then we're friends or whatever. Why do we have to? And I think that's where the issue comes on. It's a perfect example of what these labels do.
Yeah, I think that's the point maybe he was trying to make. I'm not sure if that was the best way to make it, but I guess in demonstrating that and sort of taking the mask off, if you will, that was his way of saying, maybe we don't need labels. Maybe you just accept me for who I am.
Yeah, and I agree. I think there's too many, because when you put label, you're in a category, and then you can't expect people not to.
And he's put himself in several categories, clearly.
100%. Pick a lane, right? We're talking to our friend, Catherine Sellery. Parents, you're going to love it. We're talking about Halloween fun. Ooh, it's a spooky time of year. Halloween, excitement, spookiness, all in the air. But for many kids and even parents, it actually could be a source of a lot of stress and just being overwhelmed, right? Well, joining us now with some tips on how to keep Halloween fun and stress-free is parenting expert Catherine Sellery. She's joined us from Hong Kong. How is Hong Kong?
Hong Kong is a blast. We're having so much fun.
Well, good, as you should. I love always finding out every time you come to us where you're at in the world, and I love it. This is kind of important because kids love Halloween, and we were talking earlier on the show how it's a day where not only kids but as adults, we can dress up and we get to act like kids as well. But you say, as far as the kids go, there could be a lot of stress that happens. And you've got some tips here to maybe just keep that stress level down. First one is just finding the costume. You're saying, forget, there is no perfect costume or custom costume. Am I right?
Exactly. So there can be a lot of pressure, right, to find the perfect costume. And it can be overwhelming, not just for your kids, but for the parents too. So it's really important. Don't stress around the, perfection. The focus should really be on fun, self-expression. So you need to set expectations early for what is realistic and encourage your kids to get creative with what they have. Embrace their unique ideas. Offer your assistance to see out their vision. Try to be a part of the excitement. Make it collaborative and make sure to be actively listening when helping to set the boundaries and expectations, so there's not a lot of disappointment.
That makes a lot of sense, too. And I always appreciate when teachers at school kind of encourage them to really dress as a book character or something along those lines, so kind of keep it going. Good. So, maybe just say, well, what are you learning about? Why don't you be this, that sort of thing? You say self-regulation is a big part of Halloween. Now, this is also not only for kids, but for adults, too. But let's stay with the kids. Self-regulation. Are we talking about candy?
So we're talking about emotional regulation, but with all the sugar, all the excitement, all the social pressure that kids have around them, it's so easy to become overstimulated during Halloween.
Okay.
So support your children to manage their emotions and their energy for preparing for the big feelings around winning and losing in games, handling the excitement or the fear around trick-or-treating. So there are practical tips like the breathing. So you can really teach your kids, not just Halloween, but all the time. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're instantly in the parasympathetic. So that'll just calm down their nervous system. And one of my favorites, we call it the Magic 8, is you just take 2 fingers and you can show your kids, just demonstrating by taking the Magic 8 around their eyes, and they can choose the direction and go back and forth, the amount of pressure. And again, it regulates the nervous system. It actually connects both sides of the brain. So it's a really easy one to do.
I'm going to start doing that myself. It's actually, it feels good.
Yeah, you can do it yourself, Mitch.
Very nice. I need to do that.
And then language, you should try. Like getting bigger than what's bugging you is like the favorite. So how do I get bigger than what's bugging me? To have something in me that's mad, sad, upset. Okay. So something in me, and then I can say to my kids, looks like something in you. So it's so different when it's something in me as opposed to I am the big feeling. So co-regulation with them helps so much.
All right, very good. I was thinking maybe the overdose of regulating the candy, but that makes so much more sense because your stress as an adult, it goes on to like the kids. I can totally get that.
Passing it right down.
Which it talks about is the kids are going to remember the fun that they have. And so you say have a meaningful Halloween memory. And what are some things that we could do to make sure that we ensure that?
Well, it's not just about the costumes and the candy. So it's the whole season, autumn, fall. It's an opportunity for the bonding, the memory building, storytelling, baking treats and spooky snacks together, carving pumpkins. All of these wonderful memories get created and they're lasting, but they're so much more valuable than whether it's about this store-bought candy or that perfect photo or costume. It's about just all of the time that you get to share doing fun things.
I agree with that. And finally, you say that empathy behind the mask. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah. So, you know, in the world of trick-or-treating, Halloween can also be a great time to teach kids about empathy. So it's a wonderful holiday and an opportunity to model empathy, behavior that encourages your kids to think about other kids, whether sharing candy, including them in activities and games, just reflecting with each other about the fun they're having with their families and friends.
I love that. And I should have prefaced this whole interview saying that the things that we are doing are going to go through Halloween, we actually can use year round. I'm going to start using the figure eight. I love that. I love that you're doing that. I'm going to throw you some curveballs here. First off, after Halloween is all over, you have all this candy. What do we do with it? I just can't see a lot of parents wanting to keep that around. What's the best way to handle that situation?
So some parents, you know, want to share it with other kids in the neighborhood, or they'll want to take it to a charity, or they'll want to take it to, you know, other places where they're, you know, kids who may not have had as much opportunity to trick or treat can also join in. So I love that. Sometimes parents say, like, let's spread it out over the year.
Yeah.
And put some of it aside, which is also a really nice way to not have them overindulge.
Really, when it comes down to it, is like, all right, let's split it up and let's let Dad know where the stash is always at, and then maybe you can hand them out as treats.
Moms too.
Yeah, indeed. And then final question, just an age. What age do you think stop trick or treating? You shouldn't be trick or treating after this age, or is there one?
Gosh, you know, I think that trick-or-treating is one of those that children and adults really enjoy.
Okay.
I think you might change, though, from like older kids going door to door.
Yeah.
And they may end up doing something more on their own with their peers as opposed to the door-to-door thing.
Very good.
So
Catherine,
as long as a child is enjoying it, right? You don't want the kids to feel intimidated by really big.
Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you having you on. You want more information? Visit our website, ourfreeparentingbook.com. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English, and it is time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. In selected theaters is the drama Exhibiting Forgiveness.
I ain't seen you for 15 years, but now you want to be somebody's granddaddy? You somebody's daddy right now?
I don't want him to hear this. Listen, I need you to speak to him. I need you to talk to him.
No.
He has changed.
He ain't changed.
It's just gonna follow us home if you don't deal with it here.
A black artist on the path to success is derailed by an unexpected visit from his estranged father, a recovering addict desperate to reconcile.
Well, I think, what I've seen is that people seem to come out of the theater, wanting to call their loved ones and wanting to try and, repair some relationships. And also feeling validated that in the situations where people don't feel safe to be in contact with other people, they also are, I think, validated and saying, right, that's my story, and I've chosen not to be in contact with this person for this reason, and that's okay too. That forgiveness is a very bespoke experience. But most of all, man, I hope people come and see the movie and support the movie so that we can keep making movies like it.
It absolutely just sort of corrodes, right? You know what I mean? Unforgiveness, but also understanding. And I love that you brought up both sides of it, because even the character Laurent, his father, it's also managing your expectations, understanding that just because you're ready to seek forgiveness does not mean that person is ready to forgive you. And I think oftentimes people who are hit with that want to quit, which we saw in the movie. I love the dialogue between him and Joyce, when she's telling him it's hard, you know what I mean? It's very difficult. And because it can be discouraging, but at the same time, you need to have patience and you need to have grace and understanding. Again, both sides need to understand that forgiveness is a very, very challenging, hard-fought battle.
Exhibiting forgiveness is a powerful statement about grieving, recognizing our own weaknesses, and the power of forgiving ourselves as well as forgiving others. Again, it's in theaters now and gets an A. It's rated R. Also in selected theaters is the horror thriller Smile 2.
You remember Louis Fergoli from high school? I went to his apartment. But when I showed up, he was smiling at me.
In this sequel to 2022's Smile, overwhelmed by the pressures of fame, global singing sensation Sky Riley is forced to face her dark past as escalating horrors spiral her life out of control.
I mean, it's everything you loved about the first movie, but just like times 100. It's and with pop infused into it, injected into it. It's unhinged. It's a roller coaster. I genuinely really love watching it. I love it, and I hope other people will too.
Smile 2 is one of those rare instances where the sequel is actually better than the original. If you're into a scary, unnerving, hide-your-eyes good time, this one will do it. Again, Smile 2 is in selected theaters and gets an A. It's rated R. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Thank you there, Tony. Well, your first digit today in your daily dose of daily digits is something that warms my heart. The number 8 is coming back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Budweiser, y'all. Woo! Racing fans, get ready for a blast from the past, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Budweiser are teaming up once again to bring back one of the NASCAR's most iconic paint schemes. Earnhardt will drive the legendary number 8 Chevrolet, sporting the classic red and black Bud King of Beers design for a special series of late model stock car races in 2024 and 2025. This marks the scheme's return to the track for the first time in 17 years, starting with the South Carolina 400 at Florence Motor Speedway on November 23rd, 2024. I don't know why I get this. I have this southern drawl that goes in. Dale Jr., who couldn't be more thrilled, saying it's an incredible opportunity to reunite with Budweiser and the number 8. We've created some great memories together, and I'm excited to bring that iconic look back to the racetrack. Budweiser's long-standing relationship with NASCAR includes sponsorships with legends like Earnhardt, Kevin Harvick, and now Ross Chastain. In honor of this reunion, Junior Motorsports has released a retro-inspired line of Budweiser Dale Jr. merchandise, and it's now available at shopjrnation.com for those eager to catch this historic comeback, and I guarantee I'll be buying a few of those things. All right, your next number, $250. That's all. In a big win for Apple, a federal jury in Delaware rewarded the tech giant $250. That's it, in damages, ruling that Massimo's corporate smartwatch design infringed on Apple's watch design patents. Oh, I'm sorry, do I have an Apple Watch? I do have an Apple Watch. This legal battle has been ongoing, with both companies fighting over smartwatch patents for years. Apple, worth more than $3.5 trillion, and Massimo, valued at just a small $7.5 billion, clashed in court after an important ban on certain Apple Watch models last year. Now, Apple's attorneys argued that Massimo copied Apple's design and features, while Massimo's team pushed back, fighting over their innovations. Mostly, this has been a big fight over the smartwatch technology that has to do with health stuff. So, $250. That's it.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
We're so glad to have you along here for the ride. And if you're concerned with, people judging you in your home, I know that it's a big deal. They say there's research out that it takes 38 seconds for somebody to judge your home. Okay, so this is if you're maybe selling it or if you have friends over. 38 seconds, and they have made a decision if they like your home or not.
Surprised it's that long.
Yeah, right? And I'll tell you why. In the last, there's 3 things you can do, the 3 things that they look at, and the last one makes a whole lot of sense. The first one is make sure they look to see if your floors are vacuumed. Because if it's vacuumed, then there's not stuff on the, clothes or whatever, and also it's nice and clean. Second thing is they look at your windows. If they're dirty, they see how thorough you are as far as cleaning your house. And the third thing is if it smells bad, then it's all off, because that sense of smell is so powerful that when you walk in, they have to relate it to something. And if it stinks, then they go, their memory mark is going to go that, and they're going to think your house always smells like that.
I would have thought the smell would be the first thing. Like, that's the first thing you notice when you walk in, right? It would be,
yes. I let it into that, but those 3 things
are the 3
100%.
That you judge a home by.
Which we remodeled our house.
Yes.
And Liza wants to put the cat litter right there in the front. I'm like, but she goes, no, we got a vent. I go, no. We can put it in, well, not the front, I should say, into our mudroom. And I go, well, nobody will ever walk to this door because if that's the first smell that they have, I don't want them to ever come to our house. So that's a good point. Have you seen
those crazy cat litter boxes where they're like spaceships and
like
they turn and they automatically change it for you?
Ours looks like a 13-year-old because I make sure he doesn't. And I told them when we got these cats, I don't clean up after cats. I love my cats, but I never wanted them. And I said, if we get them, I'm not cleaning up after.
We got that pretty litter. That expensive $30 a bag pretty litter so it doesn't smell.
My cats are trained to pee outside.
Okay. You can train a cat to go on the toilet too, by the way.
Yes, you can.
Because we have, acorn shells. No, not acorn shells.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Walnut.
The oak shells.
They crunch it all up, and that's their cat litter.
Can I ask you something?
Makes great pecan pie. Guess what, guys? Get ready for the.
there's that Thanksgiving
I'm not
potluck.
eating that for the holiday potluck. I'm out walking the dogs the other day, and I see this lady come out from her backyard, and I'm like, that's an odd-looking dog. And then come to find out, it's a cat on a leash.
Okay.
Is that odd? Am I missing something?
No, we're trying to get one trained to do that.
Are people actually walking cats on leashes?
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I think cats are free spirits, and they like being near their person. Does yours do that, man? James?
Honestly, I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that. I thought you were going to say it was a guy in a cat suit.
On a leash.
It's not Pulp Fiction.
Not at all.
Well, that happens after 5 p.m.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
5 a.m. Yes.
Well, James cats around a lot. So
yes, he does.
All right.
I just didn't know if walking a cat was something
I don't think so.
missed. But I'm with you. I'm like, they kind of do their own thing. Like, to have them on a leash just seems sort of counterproductive in a cat world.
They don't like it. Well, mine don't at least. But I could see people will say, well, my cat likes to do it.
One of mine's cool with it.
Oh, you
we'll take him downstairs and everything.
It's probably the beta one, probably not the alpha.
No, no, it's the alpha one.
It is the alpha one.
Kiki.
Yeah.
That's how you walk a cat.
With a laser, yes.
The laser. Okay, gotcha. Fast food chains are pulling fresh onions off their menu items after the veggie was named the likely source of an E. coli outbreak. Restaurant Brands International, parent company of Burger King and Yum Brands, said they were removing fresh onions from their menu items. Roughly 5% of Burger King locations have removed onions from their menu. McDonald's has also removed all onions from their menu items for now. The U.S. Department of Agriculture said the fresh onions were the likely source of the outbreak.
We have to do something with these. You talk about like these farmers, first off, they have huge fields and they have to have a quick turnaround. Matter of fact, you're talking about French fries. People had not been ordering as many French fries. And so a processing plant just closed down altogether. So it's expensive to do this. And that's what worries me because they have to make sure these kind of like E. coli or Listeria or anything comes out. So it's all being put on the farmers if you think about it. And they're already dealing with land. Just think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, there's a new movie out. It's called Wicked. We're going to play a Wicked trivia game. I'll see how well you know this movie. All that's coming up next. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. This Thanksgiving, everyone deserves a chance to fly.
Fellow Aussians, the Wicked Witch of the West is dead. Let me tell you the whole story.
Indeed, we are very excited to see Universal's new movie, Wicked. So we thought, hey, let's play a game. A little Wicked game, if you will. It's called Daily Flash Wicked Trivia. Very nice. And joining us as contestants are Glenda and Elphaba. How are you ladies today? You just flew in, right? On your brooms. Indeed. Very nice. So glad to have you here. You are both going to be playing for something very, very magical. Can we tell them what they might win? A brand new pair of ruby slippers. Look how gorgeous those are. Very nice. Now, ladies, listen, we just have 5 questions that will separate you from those beautiful slippers. Are each of you ready?
Ready.
Ready? All right. All right, here we go. Here's our first question. In no particular order, here we go. Who directed the upcoming Wicked movie adaptation? Is it A, Rob Marshall, B, John M. Chu, C, Steven Spielberg, or D, Tim Burton? A, B, C, or D. We'll start off with Glenda.
I'm going to go with C.
C, Steven Spielberg. All right, what say you, Elphaba?
I'm going to go with B.
B, John M. Chu. Let's see here. The correct answer is John M. Chu, indeed! Very nice. No witchcraft used in that one at all. Very nice. Ladies, you're doing so well. Here's our next question. Which of the following actors stars as Elphaba in the Wicked movie? Is it Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Zendaya, or Emma Stone? Emma Stone. We'll start this time with Elphaba.
I like B, so I'm going to keep going with B.
B, okay. You say Cynthia, what say you?
I was going to pick B too.
Both of them taking B. Why not? It's the correct answer. Indeed, she's in it. It is Cynthia Erivo. Very nice. Here's our next one. You guys are doing wonderful. What is the release format of the Wicked movie? Is it a 1-part theatrical release, B, a 2-part theatrical release, C, direct-to-streaming, or D, series adaptation? We'll start with Glenda.
I know it's theatrical, musical too, so I want to say B.
B, 2-part theatrical. What say you, Elphaba?
B keeps looking good.
B keeps looking good, and both of y'all still there you go. Very nice. So we have 1 point separating you two. Keep that in mind. Which classic novel inspired this storyline of Wicked? Was it The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, or Cinderella? We'll start with you, Elphaba.
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz says you. And what about Glenda?
A.
A. It looks like we still have 1 point lead between the two. This could be the tiebreaker or a tie altogether. So we'll see, depending on who gets this one right. Here we go, ladies. And I want you to think very good on this one. What genre best describes the Wicked movie? Is it horror fantasy, musical fantasy, drama thriller, or adventure sci-fi? Glenda.
Okay, it's definitely B, and B keeps winning.
B just keeps on winning. What say you, Elphaba?
I'm going to keep going with B.
B as well, and the actual answer is B, indeed! And since there's 2 shoes, can we just split them, even though Elphaba got more points? 1 shoe on each.
Absolutely.
No, not at all. Elphaba, you get them, that is all. Rules are rules. Sorry, Glenda. And for those of you that are in our Orlando area, here's your chance to be one of the first to see the most anticipated movie of the year. Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, grab tickets to the advanced screening of Wicked, and you can check it out. Now, I would love to hear each one of you your witch cackle before we leave. Can you give one's Elphaba? We'll start with you first. Very nice. And Glenda? Very nice. It's so hard for Glenda because she's such a great good witch. All right, that does it for everybody. Congratulations on our winning of Wicked.
KSA Entertainment believes in our communities. We value those who have dedicated their lives to enrich our own. KSA Entertainment is proud to introduce our corporate initiative, KSA Cares. KSA Cares shines a light, gives a voice, and lends a helping hand through compelling awareness initiatives. From supporting veterans to environmental awareness, KSA Entertainment is proud to produce content supporting ways to help communities all across America.
Nike has been providing uniforms for your favorite pro basketball teams, and they've just locked up an extension that will keep them doing it. Here's the story.
Nike has announced they've extended their partnership with the NBA, the WNBA, and the NBA G League as the exclusive on-court uniform and apparel provider. The extension means Nike will continue to design and manufacture league uniforms, on-court apparel, and fan apparel over the next 12 seasons. Nike was joined by executives from the NBA and WNBA and says through the partnership they will focus on growing the game by increasing access and inviting more people into basketball. Championing women's basketball as they continue to uplift WNBA athletes and share their stories and promoting style, self-expression, and a continued development of a joint membership program that delivers benefits to fans of the brand through distinctive products, content, and experiences. For more information, go to Nike.com.
Well, it looks like Google's built-in is showing up in a handful of new cars, and it might be that technology that makes your life just a little bit easier. Check this out.
Everyone knows what Google is, but there's an emerging in-car use for the search giant that might make your life a little easier. It's called Google Built-in, and it's already available in a handful of new cars from Chevrolet, Honda, Lincoln, Volvo, and Nissan. Google Built-in provides enhanced information and entertainment options, all powered by Google. A major part of Google Built-in is Google Assistant that allows you to verbally enter navigation destinations, send text messages, make phone calls, and even listen to music. The confusing part is that most vehicles with Google Built-in also continue to have the option of Android Auto and/or Apple CarPlay. Is Google Built-in worth getting? Maybe. If pairing your phone is a hassle or if you share a car, Google Built-in might be a piece of technology that truly makes your life easier.
The International Day of Climate Action marks a global reminder to continue advancing a safer climate future for all of us. Joining us now with more is Lita Moffat, Evergreen's Action's Executive Director. What is the International Day of Climate Action?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a day to raise awareness about the issue of climate change and the importance of taking action. Two things important to us here at Evergreen Action, the nonprofit organization I lead, dedicated to advancing policies to address this issue while also making people's lives better.
What are the key takeaways from Evergreen's plan?
Yeah, the main takeaway that we want folks to understand is that we can address climate change, but also make our economy more thriving and inclusive. These are win-win policies where we can both cut pollution, but also create jobs as we do things like invest in our domestic manufacturing sector to make sure that we are building the clean energy and clean technology that the world increasingly needs to solve this problem, but building it right here at home in the United States, creating good jobs and lowering costs while we're at it.
What can individuals do to help protect our planet?
The single most important thing you can do to protect the planet is to vote. We can address complex problems like this, but we need good policies to do it. And who's in office determines what kind of policies we're going to get and how it will impact your communities and your individual life. So listen to the candidates' platforms, assess which ones are making commitments to do things like invest in clean energy and invest in our communities, and then make a plan to vote and get out there and exercise your right to vote on November 5th.
And where can viewers go for more information?
Yeah, for more information on these kinds of win-win policies to protect our planet and our economy, go to evergreenaction.com.
You know, for so many of us, we don't actually think of our health until we're actually sick, but it doesn't have to be that way. Check this out.
Did you know that scheduling your annual checkup can greatly improve your health? A study by U.S. News and World Report shows while many adults see their primary care providers, essential preventive screenings are often overlooked. Dr. Greg Wisman, Chief Medical Officer at Carelon Health, shares more.
Many Americans don't think about their health until they're sick. But by staying proactive with annual checkups, you're able to maintain good health and catch problems before they become serious issues.
Individuals are living longer, so aging populations increasingly need advanced primary care to maintain a higher quality of life.
Annual checkups are typically covered by your health plan. They include essential services such as vaccines, reviewing your medications, checking in on those chronic medical conditions, as well as assessing your mental health. At Carelon Health, we want to make sure you're getting the right care at the right place.
For more, visit carelonhealth.com.
And now a product that aims at making you look refreshed no matter the time of day. Here's more.
Can you wake up glowing even when you're sleep deprived?
Olay's Super Serum Night Repair delivers deep moisture so that you can see smoother, brighter, healthier looking skin in just 7 nights. Combat dark circles with Olay's Super Eyes Daily Eye Serum, which brightens tired eyes and reduces puffiness. The formula contains caffeine, aloe vera, and vitamin C, leaving the eyes refreshed, awakened, and primed for makeup.
Wake up your tired skin and earn $10 back. Visit Olay.com/uplaterebate to learn how.
Okay, this is really cool. Airbnb has just unveiled their ghoulish Beetlejuice icon experience. And joining us now with a look inside is Allie Killam from Airbnb. Hey there, Allie.
To celebrate spooky season and the release of Beetlejuice, Airbnb is unveiling its latest icon and inviting guests to experience the iconic Dietz residence just as it appears in the film, and with Delia Dietz as your host. Guests, when they check in, will be able to explore the entire house to themselves, including the famous attic, which features a 1-to-1 replica of the model town of Winter River, Connecticut, as seen in the film. And if guests dare to say a certain name 3 times in a row, they might just find themselves in the waiting room to the afterlife, which is filled with different nods of both films that super fans will really appreciate. Guests will also partake in an art experience inspired by their host Delia, and while the guests aren't going to be spending the night at the Dietz residence, they will receive a 1-night complimentary stay at a nearby Airbnb in Princeton, New Jersey. We'll be offering 10 3-hour-long experiences for up to 6 guests each, and guests who are interested in booking can go to airbnb.com/Beetlejuice.
You know, Mitch, that sounds awesome, and it'd actually be perfect for Preview Review if they would like to host us there. You should check out Preview Review on our YouTube channel. Right now, I have a review of Venom 3. Guys, it's an interesting wrap-up of the whole Venom franchise, but I don't think they're quite done. So make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, and you can check out all those Preview Reviews on there about film reviews. And then I do theme park reviews. And this week, guys, we get the switch over from Halloween to Christmas at the theme park, so you know I'm going to have a review. So make sure you check that out and everything else we have on our YouTube page. Veterans Day is fast approaching, and one way we can honor our veterans is by showing our support. Research shows that veterans who experience post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, can find a new way forward with the help of trained service dogs. Joining us today are 2 experts who are teaming up Purina Dog Chow. Please welcome Nicole Lanahan with Got Your 6 Support Dogs, and Dr. Ruth Ann Lobos, a veterinarian with Purina. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Nicole, why is it important to highlight the need for service dogs for veterans with PTSD, and what are the benefits of having a service dog?
The statistics are sobering. Research shows that 7 out of 100 veterans will experience PTSD at some point in their life. And service dogs are just amazing when it comes to reducing those overall symptoms of PTSD. This includes reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression as well. These are truly incredible dogs.
Dr. Lobos, how is Dog Chow involved in helping our veterans?
Yeah, as you heard from Nicole, these dogs are just incredible. And Dog Chow recognizes the role that they play not only in our lives, but also in the lives of our veterans. And we, through our Service Dog Salute program, have donated over $1.4 million to service dog organizations like Nicole's. We're also helping to build awareness. And this year, we partnered with the New York Dog Film Festival and created the category called A Service Dog Salute, where we invited filmmakers to submit films that really highlight the transformational difference that these service dogs make in our veterans' lives. And your viewers can go to Dog Chow's YouTube channel and watch the winning film, A Dog Can Make a Difference by Spencer Matches. And we will donate $5 for every viewing, up to $75,000, to support service dog organizations like Nicole's.
So where can we go for more info?
They can go to dogchow.com/service and Dog Chow's YouTube channel.
Thank you both, and we'll make sure we have this on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
You know, it being Halloween, candy is, you have to do it, right?
You have to.
And our big grocery store around here, they did a buy one, get one free thing.
Oh, forget it.
And, well, it's great for me because, hey, Eliza, I'm going to go pick up some candy. And I bring home 3 bags, but I got 3 for myself. So until she finds my stash, I got some candy.
You have your secret stash.
My stash, I do, and I got to show you where it's hidden. I'm not going to tell you guys because you might come in my house and look for it, but it's hidden so well. I have to pull down doors to get there. It's sad, actually.
Secret bookcase store.
It's almost like that. You're right.
Ooh.
Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a good one. We'll see when we look at you. Bye bye.